It'll be one to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy, coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
With our media availabilities today, first off with our two-time and defending NASCAR Sprint Cup Series champion Jimmie Johnson, currently second in the points in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. 3 wins overall here at Dover. Jimmie, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
You got it.
Why don't you talk a little bit about how things are going so far, start of the chase, as well as how you feel things are going to work for you here at Dover.
Excited about the start that we've had in the chase. Great race last weekend with the 16 car. Great points day for us. Led a lot of laps. And did all the right things. So we're excited about the way things have started. We still know there's a lot of racing left and a lot of teams that are in contention for this thing. So we'll just take it as it comes. It's too early to get too excited about things. This weekend's going to be a big weekend. It's a dangerous track. A lot can happen. We saw a huge pileup on the backstretch here last year. It took out a lot of good, in the spring, it took out a lot of good cars. So there are some concerns here, but this is a great racetrack for the 48 team, and we're looking forward to it.
All right, we've got some wireless microphones for y'all to have some questions for Jimmie. Please raise your hand. And we also need the volume raised a little bit with Dover, if you can help us raise the volume. Thank you. Let us know if you've got questions for Jimmie. Please give us your name, affiliation, and fire away. Dustin, back here.
Dustin Long, Landmark Newspapers.
Go ahead.
Jimmie, a lot of fans, particularly Junior Nation fans, might be surprised at what Rick did last week, talking after the race about just wanting Junior to be more focused on the radio. You've kind of dealt with Rick and seen him do different things and how he kind of motivates and works with people. I think the milk and cookies thing was always something that you talked about. Can you explain just how he operates and how he goes about and does things and what you saw out of what he did with Dale last week?
Well, one thing with Rick, and I think it's what has brought him to where he is today in motorsports and in business, is that he's a people person, and he understands what makes people tick. And Junior sat down with Rick a long time ago and said, I want to win races, I want to win championships, I want to be at Hendrick, and that's where I think I can do it. And I want to come in and do anything and everything you think I need to do to succeed. And over the year, I think Rick and Junior have built a great relationship. And I think the conversations everybody heard on the radio and what they saw was that strong relationship that Rick and Junior have, and they can talk to one another with that with that openness and that blunt, truthful, whatever it is. I mean, they can just hit each other head on with it, and that's what makes Rick so different. And you might hear things you don't want to hear. He might challenge you in ways you don't want to be challenged, but that's what Rick Hendrick is good at doing. He's good at finding things in everyone and trying to make you stronger in those areas. So, it's just Rick doing his thing, and I've had plenty of conversations with Rick where I didn't want to hear what he had to say. I know Chad has. I mean, we've both been in the same room, as you pointed out, with the milk and cookies thing. There's also a pork chop meeting that took place where Rick had a pork chop in his hand one time with his son, little Ricky, and Lance McGrew, and he was so mad he was flinging the bone around, and the meat went flying off and all over inside the truck. So there's a pork chop meeting. When it gets to a pork chop meeting, you know it's pretty bad. So I think milk and cookies is a step before that. But Rick's just good at bringing the best out of people and really coming to your level. He can kind of morph into whatever personality is there and really talk to you in a way that makes sense.
Jim Noble, FSN. Jimmie over here. Just your thoughts about Kyle, what he went through last week. You went through something similar a couple of years ago, and his ability to bounce back from what happened in New Hampshire.
That team's strong, and if I was on that race team and in Kyle's shoes, I would find every positive throughout the course of the season and rally my team around that and know that there's 9 to go and say all the positive things that you need to say. At this point, there's no telling if that's going to be the fatal blow or not. If you look at 06 when we won it, everybody had trouble. We even crashed at Talladega that late in the season and came back and won. So you just don't know yet. And those guys, they're smart. They've got a great race team, and they have the ability to climb back from that. So we'll just have to see what takes place. But I can speak from experience. There is not a worse feeling than to leave Loudon knowing you're starting the chase and you're that far behind and you've had a terrible day. It makes for a long couple weeks.
Claire B. Lang, XM Satellite Radio. Back to Rick Hendrick. What's intriguing is that Rick is such a soft-spoken guy, and yet everybody who works for him has said that he is so intense in his desire to win. But we don't see that a lot. We see soft-spoken Rick Hendrick, you know. Can you talk to that a little bit? And also, he is persistent because Junior said he gets motivated by when he's mad and needs to get up on the wheel. That makes him drive faster. Rick said it's going to get interesting, meaning he's not going to give up, you know. Can you just talk a little bit about that?
Well, I think Rick, you know, Rick's worked really hard to be where he is today. He's extremely humble. You may not see that intensity because he's just a good Southern man and he wants to say and do the right things. If you look at Jeff's perception, my perception, and Rick's, it's probably, you know, in the same category where PC, say the right things, do the right things more than not. And but there is a much different side of Rick, and it's not that it's a bad side by any means. It's just there's an intense desire to win, and he may say some things and do some things that you wouldn't expect because he has that burning desire to win. And as I was pointing out earlier, he can morph into whatever personality he needs to connect with that person. It's made him successful in business and in motorsports. And if you look at the group of drivers, really, you look at all the drivers he's had over the years. Tim Richmond, you know, brought Tim along, and we all know how crazy Tim was, and he found a way to connect with Tim and bring the best out of Tim. You look at Gordon, you look at guys like Nadu, you look at Joe Nemechek, you look at Vickers, myself. I mean, you look at all the drivers. There are a lot of different personalities in there, and that's what Rick is so good at, is connecting with people and bringing the best out of them. And he's doing that with Junior, and the next year he gets to bring Mark in. And I doubt Mark needs much, but Mark's going to need something. There is a part of Mark that Rick will make stronger and better, and that's what Rick does best, is finding that and building that area.
What about the feeling that you got to get mad to drive, you know, get up on it? What about that thought? Do you understand what Dale Jr. is saying there?
When I get mad, I make mistakes. When I get mad, I push too hard and just do a lot wrong. So I'm kind of on the other way, where I need to take a deep breath, control myself, control my emotions, and just find the rhythm. And every driver's different. Every driver's motivated by different things. That's why I don't say a lot on the radio, is because I'm internalizing things and taking a deep breath and just finding my rhythm. Because if I get mad and I let myself get mad, I'm junk for a pit stop or two. I just can't pull it back in. So I'm on the other side of that.
Yeah, Jimmy, David Newton, ESPN.com, kind of on the same theme. What Rick was doing was kind of like, I guess, sports psychology in a lot of ways, what he was doing Junior. Have you used a sports psychologist ever? I know Dr. Stark works with the organization, and how does that help you as a driver?
Yeah, the team has. I've certainly taken some interviews and found out my personality type. Chad's done a lot of work in understanding. There's another system, I can't recall the name of it right now, but if you look on our pit box, there is a chart with everybody's name and a color, and then there's looks like some type of graph on there, and it points out to the different personality traits that you have. And the whole team's been through this course, and we know that you know, some guys are dominant, some guys are passive, some guys are aggressive, and there's a whole way to interact with one another. So we've gone to great lengths to understand this stuff to help with the communication between the team. I've had it available to me to use for my driving stuff, but I really haven't pursued it too much. I've participated with the team to understand Chad and my guys better, but not to really help me inside the car.
Has